we want careers, right? So when you hire us, we want to go into the union. We want a union job. We want to be able to be skilled because on the first job, what happened was, by all us being low wage workers, they started going up vertical. They used the point, oh, we're going up vertical. We don't need nobody to dig the trenches no more. So we're going up vertical. We don't need you guys no more. That's the term they use to get rid of everybody because now they're going up vertical. Now, I was one that stood with it because I was a framer. But all other guys, y'all didn't have the skills. So we knew that we had to go back to city council. We had to go back to handle and demand that we wanted not jobs, but career ladder. And so they started, they had to train some of us, right? Some of us, there was two guys that went through the plumbers union and still doing that work now. They was able to sustain and get a career. And then right now, I don't know, they probably be journeymen on the job because they went to Houston with it. So we learned from that experience that don't ask for jobs, ask for jobs that can lead you to a career.
It was a second site. So the first site was B.W. Cooper, right? And
Yeah.
what was
The next site was called Ivyville. Ivyville was the next site. But the campaign, really, Living Wage campaign started. The career ladder started. It started in Cooper. We was at the back end of it. After all those got fired, then we decided because I seen the community going back to what it used to be, violence and all that. When those guys got laid off, a 2-year-old got killed because those guys, when long as they was working, there wasn't nothing happening. People, the community was vibrant at the time. But the minute those guys got laid off, one of the young guys who working on the site, he got paralyzed, and a 2-year-old got caught in the midst of that, got killed. See, as long as they was working, there was no trouble. So that's why we said we needed career ladders. So it started in Cooper because I organized all those guys again. Let's go demand, we get a career. I'm still on a job site because I'm a framer. They need me. You could be one too. You can be a plumber. There's a lot of more work left in Cooper for you to do. So let's get career ladders going. So the campaign started in Cooper, but it brought over to the Ivyville site, which we got some guys over at Ivyville site as well, doing framing work and whatnot on the buildings over there. The city campaign was the 30%, right? They had to do, that's part of the city thing that was part of, they had to have that percentage, right? And as I remember, when the Living Wage campaign kicked off, we know that living wages wasn't really living wages in here in the city. So most guys went to. We even took this thing up to the state capitol, man, where guys decided that they didn't want living wages no more. They want saving wages. It was something about one of the guys went and he testified in front of the legislature saying, "No, we don't want living wages. We want saving wages." So that was our slogan about saving wages, right? Because as the economy goes up, well, your money can't stay the same. It got to elevate with the economy. So I think that campaign was still around living wages, but it based on, we was trying to get a law passed about saving wages.
So not just like being able to maintain yourself and get food, but actually be able to save for the future and save for kids.
Of course, people, the contracts and all that, they take trips, they take lavish things. We at the bottom, all you want to do is enslave us and not pay us. That was a problem. We want to take trips too, want to be able to save some money and go somewhere sometime, And that's what the members used to talk about, and we brought it all the way to Baton Rouge. It was about saving wages, not living wages. Yeah. And that proclamation, we just had to do it on Juneteenth because it was a day of freedom, and we didn't feel free at the time. In this city where they hadn't raised the wages up, and still today they haven't raised it at $7.25. It was just impossible to live on. So we took that proclamation and brought it to the city because we know it was like this city is based on what we call a plantation economy. And we based that on that we need saving wages at all time, right? We had to go introduce that to the city. So I definitely remember going, bring that proclamation on Juneteenth, let the people know. And it was based around, we know that in Galveston, Texas, where that happened, where people were free, but we still was under slavery, right? We didn't know but 2 years later after that, right? Because that was the whole thing was about. We understand that when the Union soldiers came 2 years later after the Freedom Bill was passed, and we didn't know. So we was telling the city, on that Juneteenth, that we want us to be free and we want saving wages.
The picture from the day.
That's us. Yeah, I do remember that. Wow, that's awesome, man. To go back and to deliver that, and that's how we can make changes. But that Juneteenth was the day of the proclamation that the Union slaves were, went to Galveston, Texas, and tell them they was free. But it came 2 years later. They was free and didn't know they was free. So we had to go introduce that to the city that we wanted saving wages. That was all about the saving wages. We wanted to be free and we wanted to get paid for the work that we do in the city.